wide open at the moment. There's a lot of different versions of Secret Paladins, and then even despite that, there are some versions that are running Quartermaster. And just as I was about to talk about this, that I think this is a mid-range build with Quartermasters, Fencing Coach has found its way into the opening hand. And so this is something I've actually tinkered a little bit with. Believe it or not, if you play turn 3 Fencing Coach and then turn 4 Murloc Knight and then use the hero power, it's pretty darn scary.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we are seeing a little bit more secrets come out, but Competitive Spirit is also a good secret to put in something like a hero power or inspire focused Paladin deck, because those 1/1 tokens can be really hard to remove later in the game. You can get a lot of value out of that secret.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, they have run into to handlock here. So over-committing to the board presence is something that's always a scary proposition. You got to think about Shadow Flame, you got to think about Hellfire. If your board gets cleared, it's going to be very difficult to recover that kind of board position. Now, the one thing they do have going for them is that they can build up a big board presence and force Waterloo to maybe use those a little bit earlier than they'd like to. So to see how that's going to actually pan out is going to be very interesting to watch. And with this Knife Juggler and the Competitive Spirit to back behind this, you know, the secrets do kind of throw Waterloo for a little bit of a loop here. So we're going to see if this aggressive opening that they have is going to be enough to actually push through with this, or if Waterloo is going to be able to stabilize.
I'm really curious to see the rest of Kansas deck, because a Fencing Coach just thrown into a Secret Paladin seems a little bit odd, but I want to see what kind of support cards or what kind of cards that Fencing Coach as a support card would be working well with. And
in my experience, really mainly focused with Murloc Knight. Again, playing turn 3 Fencing Coach into a turn 4 Murloc Knight is an extremely strong play, just from a value perspective. You're playing it pretty much as, you know, they're forced to deal with the minions you have on board, but the Murloc Knight obviously takes priority in a situation like that, so just difficult to navigate. But right away, Void Caller's already going to throw Kansas for a loop here. You know, this is one of those minions where you don't really want to kill it too often. There's that Murloc Knight. You know, you don't really want to kill this.
Oh!
Look at that. You know, if we would have been thinking closer, we might have been able to figure out that that's what that guy's sitting there for.
Yeah.
Yeah, this hero power, 0% chance it's getting used this turn. It is there for the Murloc Knight.
Yeah, but now they have to be a little bit afraid, though. What's on the other side of this Void Caller? We know that it's either another Void Caller or a Jiraxxus.
Yeah, and so because of that, I think this is just going to be a big damage push. I mean, they have Avenge sitting down right now. They're going to have a lot available for it. So it's going to be a matter, once again, if Waterloo can stabilize through this. But right now, you know, the big question is what the secret is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going for the Hellfire straight away. Wow, and they get the Jiraxxus. This is a nightmare for Kansas. Again, they have ways to start redeveloping this board position, but facing down a 312 is not the spot you want to be in.
And all of a sudden, this powerful Fencing Coach Murloc Knight combination doesn't look as strong facing up against a Jiraxxus on the board on turn 4.
Whoa! Murloc Knight is, you know, without that Dark Bomb, this wouldn't be touchable right now.
Yeah.
You can see I'm having a great time too. But yeah, Waterloo, you know, if they didn't have this Dark Bomb, this situation suddenly looks very scary. I also want to note, I think it's funny that the Fencing Coach in this situation is kind of teaching the Murloc Knight how to joust a little bit.
Yeah. That's funny. That's a good one.
Getting just one turn early. This is what happens when you teach it to you, by the way. It summons the best Murlocs.
The only thing better than the War Leader is just getting another Murloc Knight.
Oh, I don't even want to go down that road. That's happened to me so many times in Arena, by the way.
There's not actually that many Murlocs in the game, so it's not a crazy thing to think of. It's the same thing with something like Bane of Doom. Getting Mal'Ganis off of Bane of Doom, yeah. Or even like getting the Murloc Knight from the Murloc Knight and then getting 2 War Leaders.
TJ, that's a 6/6 Murloc Knight.
That's scary.
Wow, True Silver Champion. Is there any way to protect the Murloc Knight for this turn?
It doesn't look like it unless we get something like an old Murk-Eye.
Yeah, I was just about to say old Murk-Eye. There's a way to protect the Murloc Knight. Oh,
not
wow.
quite. Not quite.
I thought this was happening. I really did.
Or even, Bluegill Warrior 2 would have allowed him to True Silver Champion, trade in the 1/1. It would have been exactly 7 damage. There was a couple outs there, but unfortunately, I think that Murloc Knight next turn might have met the end of its days.
Well, something else that's happening here, too, is that Kansas does have one more win condition. I was just about to say, if they just take everything upstairs,
he's at 6.
Waterloo's got a taunt, and they don't have a way to taunt right now.
That is nuts. They might even need to tap in order to look for something. That's not a taunt. That's an Emperor Thor saying.
They have to tap right now, and they have to find a taunt. If they don't find a taunt, this game's over.
Wow. That's a really great job by Kansas spotting that win condition. What a strong set of plays there from Kansas. A really creative deck.
That's
like
it.
it.
There's no way for Waterloo to push this damage. This is the power of aggressive play, too. Kansas.
Look at their face.
I love this team.
They're like, are there double Moltons and a Sun Fury?
Just the absolute nightmare. But this is the power that this aggressive play has. Kansas recognized that they were going to win this game. They were going to have to take a big risk. It's something we talk about over and over again. And look at those high fives all around. Murloc Knight carries them to victory.
Oh, they're worshiping it.
A wonderful game from Kansas. And Waterloo.
They look defeated.
Well, the guy on the left, he's feeling pretty good about it. Middleman maybe a little bit distraught by that one, but
Yeah.
you know, it's a tied series. It's one game apiece now. We're at a best of 3, back to even footing. You know, you got to keep your head in the game.
The middle guy, he was the lethal spotter, and he gets really disappointed when he spots the lethal on the other side.
What if they missed it?
What if they did? What if they did? So moving into game number 3, we're going to have a tied matchup. So